Hi viewers, back with a juicy one. I really want to know what is happening with this new court case that sort of came out of left field in some way about the Democrats suing anybody who's been born since 1951, it seems to me. It's funny, it's like there's a tiny group of Democrats who are doing the impeachment train, and this is another group of Democrats. I'm not altogether happy with it. I don't know. It sets an ugly precedent for every election. People are going to sue everybody about everything. That's a worry to me. On the other hand, this was a foul and filthy election, and why shouldn't there be a civil case regarding all this stuff? So it's a very big, what you would call an ambit claim. So it's taking on Russia, like I assume that means the state of Russia, WikiLeaks, the Trump campaign, individuals like Paul Manafort, Kushner, Don Jr. I must do updates on these guys too, because you know what, viewers? Soon we're going to be in May, and I think it's going to be mighty May. We've been hanging for some juicy indictments, and I think they must be about you. But, as you know, I famously digress. So, I wasn't sure how to lay out this reading because it's so sprawling and complicated. So I thought I might do 3 rows, so Russia, Trump campaign and WikiLeaks, and then another general one. So let's see what that brings to light with this Democrat court case. Okay. All right. The Emperor, Trump's on top, the signifier for all of these. Love tarot. Thank you, universe. All right, so Russia. Here we have, okay. All right. It's not going to be the easiest read in the world. Okay, so we're going to do Russia, Trump campaign and WikiLeaks. So, the love affair, Donald and Putin, the whole Trump family and Moscow. Remember Donald Jr. saying, we get so much money from Moscow. I'd like to live in Moscow. I love everything about Moscow. What part of Moscow did he visit? Certainly not somewhere where they only have the electricity on, 3 days out of 5 and struggle to make ends meet, so he would have been the party animal. But the big love affair, because it was money laundering supremo. Mwah, mwah, kissy, kissy. Give us money. Buy American real estate. Everyone's sweet. So it was certainly a love affair. Temperance, but in this position, directly under Trump, it has the aspect of integration or enmeshed. They are totally enmeshed in each other's financial doings. So that's my interpretation of temperance in this position. Central to Russia, underneath Trump. Followed by the 7 of Cups. Nothing's a problem. Nothing's too big to aim for. We can do this. Let's just do it. We can control the world. This is captains of industry gone mad. This is illusion. This is delusion. So in the Russian line, this will be explored in the courtroom as if enough isn't being done by Mueller. But I guess it's like a lot of cases. Sometimes when official things play out, it's not quite satisfying in the end because people can get away with certain things. And sometimes it's just comforting to know that these players, even if they get away with certain things, are going to spend the next however long they are on this earth in a courtroom. And I have to say, while I think of it, Donald's already spent 20% of his 2020 campaign money on legal fees now. So is that legal? A. B, it means he'll blow it all and people will at some point fairly soon stop putting into this mythical idea of the 2020 Trump presidency. It won't happen. I can reassure you on that, dear viewers. So who's going to pay for this show? So all the money that they've got, I think, is going to end up just going in legal fees. So, Trump campaign. 3 of Cups, group work with Russia, the lover. Right, not surprising. 4 of Cups. Well, more so this is the one in the Rider-Waite, where the figure's sitting under the tree and is being offered something, but they're not quite happy with what they're being offered. So what does that mean? Maybe they felt that Russia was asking too much in return. We're talking about the Trump campaign. The Knight of Coins, Knight of Pentacles, the War Horse, but also the gun for hire. I think being beside the 4 of Cups like this, I think there was a point in the campaign where it was obvious that the party was over, but they had to keep up pretenses. So either Russia already had compromised Donald Trump up front and threatened him and said, we're all in this up to our ghoulies, you play our game or you'll really be sorry. Or it mightn't have been as upfront as that. It could have been, we do have some videos of when you were having such a good time during the pageant or something. Just be aware of that. So either way, at some point it soured and freaked out, I think, Donald, but not the campaign. The campaign went on business as usual, Manafort and all of them, Russia, Russia, rah, rah, rah. Okay, so WikiLeaks, Julian Assange. Okay, 9 of Wands. This is coming up in these readings in the last day or so. It just keeps coming up. So, powerful energy, massive energy, but going in different directions and looking for a single point of focus. So, WikiLeaks was at its height, the peak of its powers, you might say, at the time this was going down. And there was some internal dialogue. It wasn't just Julian Assange at that stage. It was a much bigger organisation, although not massively staffed, I don't believe. But it was Julian Assange fighting with someone else. Which way were they going to go? Probably the other person was saying, why, Julian, are you doing all this shit on the Democrats? Why aren't we releasing Trump's tax returns? Pourquoi? Okay, so there was tension around all this issue at WikiLeaks. They get the 3 of Pentacles 2, which again is group work, but around money. the Ten of Pentacles, which is the creepy, greedy card. I think it's at this point that WikiLeaks lost track of who it was or what it was supposed to be doing altogether. What have they done since? So that's getting a flavour for the elements of this court case. So now I want to do another small card reading on the likely outcomes on this. In other words, is one part of this more likely to get traction than another part of it? Will it get up? So, let's see. Give me a minute to get these cards going again. Just need to split these cards. Yeah, it's hard when you do these multi-part readings, but I think you get there in the end. So let's see. Well, will the Democrats have luck with the Russian part of this court case? Democrats suing Russia. Democrats suing Russia. Ooh, could be. I was thinking, yeah, right. They get the 9 of Swords and they get the 6 of Swords. Okay, so the 9 of Swords can be imprisonment and stuff. There might be enough of a connection here for it to go forward. That could be, this is interesting in terms of the Manafort, Gates, Felix Sater, do not forget that name, Michael Cohen, those who are working with Russia. This is jail. The Knight of Wands. Okay, this is the card of the warrior proceeding with caution. In the Rider-Waite deck, it's much more sedate. There's this cautious element. In this, in the Celtic deck, the warrior is more out there, meaning the court case is more aggressive. But the horse is being reined back, but unlike in the Rider-Waite where the horse and the rider are just going a bit slower, if you can see the wild eyes of the horse, this is a horse at full gallop being hauled in by a brutal rider. Okay, so as a horse person, I'm not entirely comfortable with this card, and it shifts the meaning of the Knight of Wands into a more aggressive posture. So there is going to be aggressive pursuit of Russia, followed by the 6 of Swords, which is people getting away with what they can get away with and moving away physically from the domain. Witness protection. Well, you would, wouldn't you? I mean, if you had Russia after you, you would be seriously thinking of changing what you look like, your name, where you live, and changing the name of the dog. Okay, so that was Russia. So, sorry, I'm going to put those cards back in and find out, will it have any joy with the Trump campaign aspect, because there's so many people involved in that. So, Democrat court case, Trump campaign. Alrighty. Okay, here we go. Now, with this, secrets, manipulation of money, and the 2 of Swords. Bear in mind, the 2 of Swords in the Rider-Waite is the blind figure of justice. I'll draw. Aha! I felt the urge to draw another, and that was justice. Now, just in case that was too fast, let me just reiterate, this is the Democrats suing the Trump campaign. The High Priestess, deep secrets. The Two of Pentacles, manipulating money. And the Two of Swords, leading to justice, which is here. The High Priestess, I would point out also, is number 2 in the Major Arcana, followed by a 2, followed by a 2. I think we're getting a message about 2. I would go as far as to say, I think 2 people from the campaign. I'd love to say 62. But 2 people from the campaign will definitely go to the wall on this. At least 2, I'd like to think, but 2, 2 and 2 would suggest that. Okay, so that's interesting, because in all of this I haven't had enormous hope or anticipation. It's still new. We're all still digesting this extraordinary piece of news. But we've got people in the witness protection program via Russia. We've got 2 going down from the campaign. So WikiLeaks. It's very hard to get a handle on WikiLeaks. Will anything happen to WikiLeaks? This Democratic Court case. Democrat. What is happening? Okay, 2 major arcana. All right, let me show you. So the Fool, oops, followed by Strength, followed by the 6 of Pentacles, Compromise. WikiLeaks, I'm thinking here, this is Julian Assange. He thought he actually was the king of the world, and there were very skilled hackers out there before Julian Assange, but he took it to a new level with WikiLeaks, and it was a brave new world. So if you see it here, I think this was the fearlessness of the Fool's behaviour. He was totally fearless, and then when things got more serious and more dramatic and more legal, he wasn't prepared, which could be why he has spent 6 years in a broom cupboard in the Ecuadorian embassy in London. Strength. WikiLeaks' strength is, in fact, it's unknown quantity. Who works for WikiLeaks? Do we know any other names apart from Julian Assange? So, not much. The problem is its strength is the fact it's this sort of very nebulous organisation that can ebb and flow. So I'm thinking it's going to be very hard for anyone to catch anyone other than the Fool, Julian Assange. Money and compromise. He might be prepared, well, I'm sure he'd be prepared to do just about anything. He might be prepared to talk. He's in such epic international trouble, it's hard to know where to stop or start. He might not even appear in these cases because of his previous foolish behaviour and the fact he doesn't want to ever tread on US soil. So with this one, I was much clearer with the other 2 of something going to happen. I'm not convinced it will translate into a legal thing, but he could be offered a deal through this that could change everything. So his biggest fear is being arrested in the United States. If he was charged in the UK, he understands the prison system there. No one wants to go to jail, but he could deal with it on some level. I don't think he's terrified of going to jail in Australia, even though people want him here too. I don't think there's outstanding stuff he's just disapproved of. His big fear is America, and also being arrested outside America and taken to America. Well, you would, wouldn't you? Particularly if the puppy killer is in charge, that dreadful Gina what's-her-face. Right, so not without reason, but you can do Skype interviews. I'm thinking the biggest way to get Julian Assange to speak is to offer him some sort of immunity in the United States. So whether the people involved in this case have the power to do that, I don't know. But I think that might be the only thing to lure him out. And until this point and until this reading, it never occurred to me that Julian Assange could be compelled to speak and give the dirt on who paid them. Don't you love terrorism? All right. Hope you enjoy that. Bye.